Hey Paisanos, what's up? Welcome back to the Type QQ channel as we take a look at a new game just hit up on Steam called Road Doom. It's a vertical, uh, vertical scrolling shmup with some like RPG elements, and has a sort of pixel, retro pixel inspired game. It immediately reminds me, especially when we start getting into the game of it, reminds me a lot like the game we used to play called Room. Um, yeah, you can see with the sort of like, fleshy, bloody pixel art. Yeah, just not going in reverse. But yeah, as you can tell, we're this sort of, dragster, roadster type of car. And we're gonna sort of defend our, what warish hellscape with against aliens. But first, I should have probably have mentioned this prior. If I, if I'm going to give this game a glowing review, I suppose, and say go out here and buy it. Go to Steam. Do keep in mind this game was provided by the developer, so maybe he bought my love and admiration. Certainly a possibility. Either way, yeah, watch other videos. You know, um, hear all kinds of opinions. Do your homework yourself. Don't just listen to me as we're going through the tutorial here. Basic controls here. We're on our keyboard as we are, as we usually are. Slow move on X though. Usually I prefer it on Shift, but it works here all the same. You're like, ah, shit. Gotta move real slow. Yeah, I'm like, oh fuck it. Luckily, I'm not taking damage in the tutorial, but yeah, dodging. You not our strongest, I suppose. Our strongest attribute. And you'd think, yeah, as you can tell with the movement of the car itself, our person, our player character, that there's some sort of weird tank controls. There actually really isn't. It's just how it's animated. So, I really like how the game controls and works. Um, I would have necessarily put the slow button on Shift regardless. Maybe you can in the controls, but this being my first sort of blind play, I figured, let's go with it. It's okay. So, oh, here's Bo. Bo is the coolest dude in the world. He's going to keep us alive by giving us health, which is indicated by those red orbs up on the top screen. There's currently 3 right now, but each orb takes 2 hits before they get decimated. The 2 next to that is our continues, which will get us a game over if we happen to lose 2 sets or maybe 3 sets of orbs there. But I'll tell you what, Bolt makes it makes it pretty hard to die. He does a pretty good job of keeping you going. But here we are on our own, killing some aliens. Energy pickups. Couldn't really necessarily find out what energy really does. I mean, does it provide a special, fuel for special attacks? I couldn't really say. We're gonna get that energy gauge up to like fucking, up in the thousands by the end of this. But those blue orbs are sort of our experience points. So you'll see more than anything else. I mean, aside from health pickups that we direly need, we're going to be chasing down these blues. That's really what's going to kind of fuel our progression. Our special attacks, our special defenses and special attacks, that sort of thing. But a rather simple first level so far, just kind of showing you the idea of things. Bullet patterns and bullet attacks from enemies, rather slow right now. And really throughout the game they are rather slow. It gets crowded, but it does, there is a speed to it that is, kind of feels good. a bit too easy in spots where it seems like things are just kind of crawling along. But after the frustration of other games I've been playing lately, it's not a bad not a bad feeling. I think sometimes, I think maybe in this genre, games can get a bad rap for being too easy, and but I think you know I'm not so sure. That's I don't know. I don't think I subscribe to that too much. However, as we are, as you can tell, this isn't like a 1cc run, so not easy enough for me to beat blind. So however, we are going to get pretty close to that. Stage one complete with the big spaceship down. I can't say we're going to play a we're going to go for the 1cc in this game. It is a pretty lengthy game, and we pretty much see everything in this run. But who knows? Maybe we'll come back to it if there's a lot of interest in it. It's just that it can be kind of a slog. If we're going to die at the last level or the last boss over and over type of thing. So here we are. We have our 28 current XP orbs. Kind of looking at things to purchase. Right now we can get 3 different styles in tier 1, but as you can see, before you get into tier 2 or tier 3, we need to buy tier 1 stuff. Picked up the bombs, and you'll see as we get going that bombs are crazy. 3 different sort of maps there. Not 3 levels, but 3 maps, and inside each of those sort of worlds or maps are like 3 or 4 levels. So the game, is quite lengthy. If you like a playable, easy-ish game, but has has your attention, or has an hour's worth of story mode in it, hey, that might be something that you're this might be something that you're should be interested in. And as you can tell, the bombs everywhere. And this is just the beginning. There's a few more attacks, by the time we reach our final form, right? That we're causing as much of a bullet hell as our enemies are. Certainly right now it does seem a bit one-sided already. Taking down some spiders here. Boat again. Not necessarily the most dire need for him, but he gives us energy all the same. And as you can see, we're reaching kind of 400-ish. I wish, as we take damage there, I wish I knew what we do with it. Down below is our, as you can see, 32, XP orbs, 400 energy. Maybe they just add to our points at the end of the level. I can't really say. It's weird in that, early animation, it seemed like you had this giant, lightning attack, but then said, like, oh, I have to get more energy. Maybe there's a sort of bomb attack that I didn't use this entire run. That'd be awfully sad if that was the case. And below that are 7 little helper gremlins, which are you can see floating around our car there, helping us do damage. And they actually give you a good idea of where enemies are coming from too, because they do have that sort of little homing effect that when enemies are coming out of the screen from the left and the right, they home to that direction even before the enemies show up. So, certainly handy little guys. Boat's back. And you may have noticed that like little screen stutter. That happened a few times. I don't know if that was just my PC having a bad day or whatnot, but who knows, right? Who knows? Yeah, it doesn't seem like the yellow ones do much besides just stand there and accept death. But all the same, they all give, blue orbs, so kill them all and level up. Particularly nasty if you stay in the center of the screen there. Oh, there's some damage. You can see though, after taking some damage, there's a sort of like after effect of, your sort of revenge attack, rather. Road Rival, our sort of, Pokemon, Pokemon Red rival type guy, who's going to be a reoccurring villain for this game for a bit, which is interesting. We're in this world of living vehicles, there's only this other car really, and he's an asshole, but all the same, you get the idea. He certainly has some weird attacks and patterns. Nothing too crazy here, but we're hoping nothing that's going to give us 2 damage, or at least four hits here. He's awfully small, so he gets to go. A lot of our bombs are missing, but all the same. He's almost at half health, so all is okay. Yeah, really doing some damage there. He's just gonna let sit there and let us shoot his brains out. I mean, that's perfectly fine. Nothing too wild and crazy here. This should be the end of him here, but we'll see. Let's see. There we go. And despite the fact that he explodes into pickups there, we'll see him again. 118. So what do we want now? If we go through the other tiers, like the tier 1 stuff, here's tier 2, Medusa's Seduction, which is pretty good for, it's like a all screen damage that allows us to, all screen damage with a cooldown. Yeah, I mean, when we're talking about if we're attempting to 1cc this, we'll want the pools as well as, just things that will, more things that will fire out. Good level for experience points. Able to pick up the pool and the shield that blocks our first hit. Yeah, you can see now got these blades and the bombs, as well as the sort of like yeah, the blue glow. Here we are, the coolest dude ever. Boat. He's gonna bring us back up to maximum health. And if there's like one guy or one character to thank for, as far as we got, man, how bad was that? We just kind of stood there like, oh sure, and just let our shield get decimated there by those bullets. But yeah, if we had one person to thank for lasting as long as we do in this game, in this run rather, it's Boat for sure. Although the pools do like the sort of oasis or yeah, the energy pools, they help out quite a lot too. Yeah, there are some enemies that are rather nasty that will follow you around. Those yellow centipede-like characters, as well as there's a purple enemy, I think that, like purple insect, that'll show up eventually. Oh, there's a pool. Give us some good stuff. All kinds of good stuff. Oh yeah, those guys are awful. Shield's back. I believe that works on a cooldown, I believe. Which, hey, that's pretty amazing, you know. If we can keep mistakes to a, you know, minimum, and time it out, you know, we won't take damage. I mean, but not always the case. I mean, now they're just giving the level 1 boss to us, sort of, you know, willy-nilly. We're just ripping them apart now that we have, you know, 13 gun gremlins, you know, some blades and some bombs, you know, turning into quite the force of nature ourselves. Both the ever coolest dude. Mothership. And this is one of the first bosses that we'll find that doesn't necessarily have a life gauge at first. There are a couple bosses that like this that have like these weak points that we have to destroy first before inevitably doing real damage to it. And it can be kind of jarring, I think, at first when you're if you're not noticing sort of like flickering, you know, when you're doing certain damages or, you know, shooting certain areas. You can see immediately that's the sort of silver and green pods that are reacting to the explosions. That's what we want to shoot at. However, it's very, yeah, it's very strange to see Mothership sitting at like 3,000 hit points and you're not doing any damage to it. Like, oh shit, what's going on? But there you see, one's busted there. And then you're like, okay, that's what I need to do. I just need to bust them up. So far, 3. This last one here, oh, as we're now taking on damage. Okay, so that whole side is gone now. Kind of rush over before the laser hits us. And you know, these kind of green teardrops are rather fast for bullets in this game. So they are quite treacherous. As we're, yeah, as you can see, we're just always being hit by them. Last of the little nodules destroyed, so now we're doing straight up damage to the mothership now. And as you can see, like the 3,000 wasn't quite a whole lot once we get things going. Taking a ton of damage though. These little teardrop bullets, awful, awful, wrecking us. We got so accustomed to the slow bullets that as soon as something actually shot us with some velocity, we were not prepared. However, We got 2 more hits before we're dead, and we hope our homie boat comes around and helps us out before things get too nasty. And yeah, isn't this weird? Like sort of Mad Max vehicles, aliens, and this weird pirate ship boat that helps you. And at the time I was playing this, I was like, this is pretty silly, but you know what? I love it. As long as it's not more goddamn teenage girls from Toho that's been like plaguing my life the last couple weeks. Good. I'll take cars and boats instead of underage girls. That stuff is just fucking wretched. I've been working on trying to get my 1cc for embodiment of Scarlet Devil, and it's just eventually you just slam your head against the wall. So as silly as talking cars, aliens, and the like, I'm 2 thumbs up, right? Like anything, as long as they're different. Anything. And here we are. We got Medusa now. It's going to be on our V. It's a special attack. Like I was saying, it does. It acts like a bomb. It does damage to tanky enemies. Straight up kills smaller enemies, and then it has a cooldown. There's the purple guy that I was talking about before. We'll see more of them. They're awful. Luckily, we seemed to do a lot of damage to him, so he kind of disappeared. But oh yeah, as he took our shield there, you can see that we're killing him before he does it. But if you don't kill him too quick, he darts at you after shooting at you. Oh, there he goes. You can kind of see it now. Ah, yes, what an asshole. And we're really trying to play our best before our dude bails us out. Or pool, for that matter. I think that said it was like a 1% shot of spawning when you kill an enemy, so, if we don't see a boat, hope that we hit that 1% roll, or at least kill 100 enemies, and get it the long way, right? Oh, awful asshole. So we got like 1 hit left. Like, what the heck? And there's our Medusa attack. Just kind of doing away with whoever's on the screen. Maybe should have saved it when we were getting kind of overwhelmed with these pink guys. But you can see it's got a short cooldown. It's going to be back in 10 more seconds. So. Hell yeah. I mean, brought us back to half health, which is just fine. Better than where we were. These enemies sort of remind me of Darkest Dungeon, with like slimes that when you deal damage to them, they just break apart and keep going. Luckily, their bullet patterns are rather slow, so you continue on just fine. Cleared the stage, but we don't have a whole lot of XP gems. I mean, we have everything, looks like, from tier 1 and 2. Everything else costs, what, 100 each? So sadly, we're moving on. Moving on empty-handed. As I take a sip of, Type QQ branded seltzer water. And if you haven't noticed, this like error 404 blinking on the sort of like viruses here. So what has become of this world after we sort of fought off the aliens, right? I mean, is it still aliens, or is it like one of those where we're just going to like venture into the depths of hell sort of thing. Kind of want to get in the center of the screen here and do more damage to the slime instead of letting our blades and everything else and bombs do all the heavy lifting. Medusa's back, and the boats are back. We'll take it as he nearly brings us up to full health. I mean, if you count the our shield, then maybe we are at health, right? Full health, rather. Yeah. And that's why we use Medusa, those pink guys. Those guys are awful. There's a pool. Oh, and speaking of full health, there it is. So it was not too long ago, right? Not too long ago we were on death's door, brought back up to full health with the with our sort of protection shield. Oh, Boat would have taken care of us anyway. These are just going to be bonus energy now. As I was saying, take us over 1,000 with it as well. And I wish the hell there was, you know, a use to him, right? I wish I knew there was a point to him. I don't know. I said previously maybe we won't play a series of this, but I think maybe if I find out like maybe there's the energy's linked to some sort of like screen clearing bomb or something like that, maybe I will play the game, you know, a few more times to get the 1cc, because you know we were pretty close. Once we get further into the game, you know, I think you know the game is certainly generous and fair enough that we could, you know, potentially, you know, get her done, as it were, as it were. But you know, the hour length of a game is daunting, as easy as most of the game is. It breaks my heart getting to like the final level or the final boss and then dying. You know, so something like that necessary. But you know what? What would you want more? You know, a hard level, a hard or an easy final boss, right? It's tough. Here we are. Road Rival, he's back. Put together again after his mild explosion. It's like, I'm not sure why he's blaming us for everything. Oh, he's saying that his girlfriend was taken by the evil Four Horsemen, and he's gonna just be evil because of it. Rather interesting here. He's gonna, have this giant laser. We're gonna have to go through this maze of bullets. There goes our shield. Very, what I would call like Castle Shikigami, that sort of stuff. But still pretty dang cool. You don't see that all too often. Oh, you gotta love that where he's just kind of almost chasing you down like Mario Kart and firing at you at close range. Pretty cool. Here we go, another maze. And honestly, if we weren't concentrating this much on making it through the maze, we should be using our Medusa every... Oh shit, we went the wrong way! Using our Medusa every so often when it's available. just to deal damage. There's our shield back. There it is, 500 damage. Almost the killing blow, right? Oh, gotta get those. Up to 193. So we'll be able to pick up almost 2 things. Wouldn't that be 7 more? Man, 7 more and we would have been able to pick up 2 of these tier 3s. Instead, we're going to have to just settle for 1. Lightning attacks. Blessing of Horus. And the other one does more damage if we take damage, which is something I don't necessarily like. I don't want to take damage. I don't even care how good I get when I take damage. I don't want to even take damage. That's why I think we're going to pick Horus. Horus is great. Once we see it in action in the next stage, it is awesome. I mean, granted, it's another thing that's going to be like sort of bouncing around our car among like the 1,000 attacks and whatnot. But you'll see it, and it's fabulous. I mean, maybe one of the items I rush to if we play this again, make this a series. Yeah, you can see him now. That yellow orb that's sort of circling us. Any bullet that comes in contact with him, and as slow as things go, I mean, it's a lot of bullets. You can see, boom! It's sending him right back. And it's pretty awesome. It's a sort of like Samson's chain, sort of circular object. That's just, love it. And not only that, is that because these bullets are going so slow, Horus is going to provide us an out no matter where we are, no matter how dense things get. A pool as well. That's going to bring us up to full. And you can tell now that we're like in the thick of it. Like, man, we're pretty powerful. Like, could we go the whole way? Like, I, for one, I was pretty, I was having a lot of fun, but I was pretty curious / nervous. Of like, man, could I beat this game, without dying, 1 credit clear, out of the gate, just like this. I mean, the only problem is I had no idea where the end of the game was. So, although we had the sort of map screen with the 3 levels, I had no idea exactly what that meant for, a length in the game. I had no idea it was nearly an hour long, so. But yeah, Horus doing the deed. I mean, the bullets are even being bounced back and doing damage to person shot, enemy that shot him. But even if it didn't, even if it just canceled bullets and killed bullets, it would work just fine. Boat, keeping us going. But with boat, with the pool, with our shield, we're keeping it going pretty damn well. If only Medusa kind of cleared bullets as well, that'd been, we would probably be in a good spot. And you can see, like, we can go up on these enemies quite high, knowing that Horus is pretty much going to just kind of rip holes in their, walls of bullets. And here's another one like a mothership where we're not necessarily going to get a life gauge per se, we're going to essentially kind of weather out, certain attacks, and pretty much shoot down all these green eyes that are on his body. And only then will he kind of die. But you'll see how long of a battle this is going to be with the Void King. I think somewhere in the dialogue he says he's unkillable or something like that. I'm like, you know what? By the end of this fight, like I was starting to believe him. Like, oh shit, he can't die. Here they are. They're talking about rival warrior and his girlfriend already being dead. So, a little tragedy there, I suppose. Why is he going evil when his evil masters have already killed his girlfriend? Bad dodge there. Bad dodge. Bad. Oh yes, more of these. As in, they're immediately fucking us real good. So he has 2 eyeballs on his hands that regenerate, as well as like 6 or 9 that are on his head. And those are your targets. Essentially, yeah, it looks like the 6 will open up when the 2 on his hands are busted up. The tier 3 for the summoner, as we're like really close to dying, is like the lightning strike. And I kind of wish instead of lightning strike it was like an upgraded Medusa that allows it to clear bullets instead of just doing damage. 250 points on each hand. Elephants, these demon elephants stand no chance whatsoever. So we already have shot down a couple eyes, but he's taken us for a ride as well. We're down to just a couple hits. Three hits to be exact with our shield here, but granted we just got our Medusa back to help us take these eyes back down. Here they are. 250 points each. But yeah, this attack is nasty. There goes our shield. Hopefully we can keep it down to that. Those eyes are down. Shooting in the head once again. This goes on. Looks like another one just went before this attack. Sadly, no points there. Shot that a little too early. So gotta do this the old-fashioned way, I guess. Alright, so there they go. No damage, no whammies. Big bucks. Medusa's back, and we should keep it in reserve for when the hands come back. I think there we go. That's where I think we're going to get the most effect of it. Oh no, that was pretty damn close. 1 eye left. Just kill it. Just shoot it down. Keep in mind, this is all without a life gauge to the boss. So who knows, like, if he would have killed those eyes, if his life gauge would have showed up, right? Thankfully not. But we're kind of like, out of the level, pretty wounded. 163 XP orbs there. So we're going to be able to pick up 1 item, not both. Like I was saying, we can pick up the lightning or the sort of rage from the damage. And I think, yeah, I'm not a big fan of either one particularly. Horus is far better, but go with the rage. And on to the last area, not last, last set of levels rather. This sort of volcano area. Hope to find Senor boat rather soon, or get a pool out of these like little imps. The little fire guys. These guys are rather nasty. They take a beating, and they do fire off a bunch of these like sort of streams of bullets. I mean, you can see Horus does a good, you know, a good job, thwarting him back, but still. I mean, wouldn't it be cool if these items were like you could add levels to them, like the blades are great and the bombs are great, but what if you had like 5 Horuses, right? Or or you could level up Medusa, like I was saying, to have like screen clearing effects. Or if you just wanted like 1,000 blades, it'd be cool to see how you can progress those other than just like whether you have them or not. There's the pool we want. Doesn't necessarily have any, did not have any health in it, so that's kind of a heartbreaker. Another one though. That one did have some, it appears, and picked it up rather quick. So that's good. Medusa's back and ready to scream. Yeah, she can instantly kill those fire guys, so maybe something to remember as we go further in, that yeah, even as nasty as some of the stuff can go, you can see how Horus is just a wrecking ball that just. $92 though. 92 orbs. Oh, that's rough. That's rough. So come on, I'll owe you the other 8 in the next level. That sucks. Getting ever closer to the end levels, but certainly crossing. What is it? Coming up to 45 minutes already. Like holy shit! There is quite some content here. We thought it was just going to start with some aliens. And now we're depths of hell. We're in sort of like we were in the dark web there for a moment, fighting viruses and who knows what. Big nasty insect here. Hopefully we can take him down. There we go. Take him down before he gets too close. Oh, he's going to bring us up. Thank you. Bring us up to full. Yeah, 1,500 energy. I sure wish we knew what those were good for, right? Big glowing green text, or rather, big glowing yellow text. It's just kind of like screaming, like, please use me, but if I only knew. Look at that. Like, I'm just like clearing off all those bullets. Horus, you're a good dude. Big giant sort of volcanic golem there. Really the least of our worries. Oh, there goes our shield, sadly though. I mean, listen, for a big nasty enemy like that, all he is just a big target now. He doesn't seem to be much of a challenge, although that worm's getting really close. That little fire wizard's more awful than a lot of these other enemies. Horace takes no crap whatsoever. Bo doing it. He's back, the road rival. I think for the final time. He no longer feels anything, Lebowski. He's a nihilist. He knows that the Four Horsemen killed his girlfriend. Life sucks for him, apparently. You know, really tough. Horace doing work, doing work. No effect to these attacks, though. You know, these are just things that we're gonna have to just dodge. And we're doing a good job of using our Medusa as a damage dealer during these boss fights. Just about down to half health here. Those kind of screen jumps are sort of annoying, but man, Horace, wrecking ball. Finally hit there. Shield rather goes. Yeah, what I'd give to have 3 horses like spinning around me, that it would be too awesome. There it is. R.I.P. And certainly that's going to be far more than what we need for our lightning attack upgrade. And the final of the 9 upgrades. So certainly drawing quite close to the end of the game here. Now that we have everything we need to be the most badass, living, breathing Hellcar in the world. In this world in particular. Here we are. I think this is the last level, if I'm not terribly mistaken. Oh yes, there they are, the 4 horsemen of the apocalypse. So yes, our final bosses, if you will, a big fight against 4 guys, kind of in succession. And I'll tell you, like, I really felt confident about beating him. However, one of these horsemen just befuddled me, and War in particular. And you can see that, like, most of the damage I'm going to take here is just from him. But yeah, quite the adventure so far. You know, from aliens, from weird netherworld to even hell to this sort of now apocalyptic biblical. Here we are. You can see war. Oh, yeah. Not prepared to take on bullets that come off from like sides like that. So we're like, oh shit. Immediately lost our shield. There's our first hit. I mean, granted, yeah, for a short time here. But we just you see the lineup of the green thing, but I was not prepared to even deal with that. So, starting off the fight pretty shaky. And what these boss fights are going to be is we're going to fight them until they're weakened down a bit of them, and then they're going to switch to another one. So we're going to see all 4 of them until one by one until they're all dead. Sadly, we can't shoot back that square that's kind of firing as we sort of get run over by it there. And you can tell each of them has a sort of particular bullet pattern. Death has that sort of these sort of rain bullets. Wasn't really able to get away from, but luckily just took shield damage. Back to war. Oh shit, right? And now they're curving, and I think that sort of red stream does damage as well. So we're down to our final hit. And you can tell they're like, oh fuck. Yeah, the red stream hits us, the bullets from it hits us. They're like, he is a bastard. So hanging on as much as we can. However, I don't think there's a way to materialize a pool or a boat in these areas. Ah, there it is. So there goes our 1cc, sadly. However, we are going to continue on. A little broken and hurt that we weren't able to beat the game in one life like we wanted to, but each visit of these horsemen, you can tell, are they're revamped up a little bit more aggressive, and a little bit a little bit more serious. Man, what would I give to have Medusa clear bullets, especially in this nonsense, right? Like, oh man. Doing my best to try to get the hell out of the way. There, he's dead, but not before hitting me one more time. Pestilence being one of the easier bosses, especially with Horus. If you want to be a big cluster of bullets doing things, Horus has quite the counter against you. Although being in the corner was not the best idea there. So half the horsemen completely gone now, with famine and death being the only ones remaining. Famine's no joke with all these bouncing squares now, shooting bullets. Final horseman. Oh, but it is just pretty poorly poorly positioning there. But you can see now the bullets are bouncing up on the screen as well. Yeah, kind of run over. So not the most cleanest ending ever, but able all the same to finish the game, at least before we get a super game over. We get the GZ ending. I don't know if that's the bad ending where we don't get the true final boss, if there is one, right? But we reach the credits all the same. But yeah, that's a fun game. You know, I think overall it's certainly exactly what I wanted. To kind of break up the monotony of what I was doing in the last couple weeks. Very fun. I sort of revisited games like Room with this sort of pixel art, and it, just wild and kind of insane enough to kind of, like I was saying, break up the monotony. Certainly a long game, so if you're the sort that, needs a bit more than just 25 minutes, then I would certainly say, hey, give this a look. The link's going to be below in the description to give you a link to the Steam page. Thank you for playing, and thank you for watching. It was very cool. And also another thank you to the developer for providing the Steam key so we can check this out all together. Alright guys, that's going to be it for this video. Don't forget to subscribe, leave a like, leave a comment, do all that stuff. And we're going to play some more shmups in the future.